Hello, everybody. Welcome in. It is from the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Hey, I got to give a shout out. Shout out to DJ, who always is watching us on YouTube. DJ, thanks for watching on YouTube. Always there.
Yeah,
DJ's
he is.
always there. I love it. I love it. And you can watch on YouTube as well. We're streaming live right now. So head on over to the Fan Sports Network YouTube channel.
And it would be a very wise thing to go ahead and subscribe to us, get the notifications that we're about ready to go on, because there will be a time, and that time is coming up very, very quickly, where we will be doing giveaways on the YouTube
Yeah, the YouTube side of
things
Yeah.
just by themselves. Yep.
Yeah, we might as well, right? It's there, and I enjoy it. It's fun. It's fun. And I will say tomorrow,
Dude, DJ's already commented.
that's why I'm saying shout out to DJ. He's already here. He's already in the comments
Happy
section.
Monday.
He's ready to
Keep
go.
up the good work.
I love it. I love it. Anyways, so tomorrow we're going to be, today we're finalizing our all-time All-Star list.
Yes, outfielders. Oh, my hell, dude. There were
It's
a ton.
It's tough.
But before we get to that,
Oh, yeah, we're not there yet.
no, we're not there yet. We got a lot of business to take care of.
We do.
First off, make sure you have our number in your phone, 435-990-9950. We're not giving away anything right now, but make sure it's programmed into your phone.
Yeah, just save us as a contact, the Fan Sports Network. Just save it in there, 435-990-9950.
And plus, have us on the radio dial at 99.5 and 95.3 here in St. George.
Of course.
93.1 up in Cedar City. You can also download our free app. Just go to the App Store or your Google Play. What is it? Is it called Google Play? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I don't have
I don't either.
I don't have
The Play Store?
an Android. Sure.
Anyways,
Just your
go
app
there.
store. Go to your app store.
And download. Just go ahead and search the Fan Sports Network. You'll see our logo pop up. Go ahead and hit it. You can listen to us anywhere you go, whether you're out on the bike trails, hiking, walking, running, whatever you're doing out there. Go to the gym, all that kind of stuff. You can have the Fan Sports Network with you at all times. And I got to tell you, dude, I am digging the CBS Sports lineup.
It's nice. I feel like
Jim Rome is off the charts. Awesome.
Jim Rome is sometimes off the wall.
I don't, this last little bit, I'm not a big time, he has his takes. Well, what's it called though?
Like hot takes?
The hot takes, but that's not what he calls it.
That's not what he calls it. I know what you're talking about.
And he has this contest and all that kind of stuff. I'm not big on that week of Jim Rome, but most of the time I totally dig Rome. I love his takes on things. I don't agree with him all the time, but he's really good. He gets top-notch athletes and people in the business to come on to his show.
Yeah, and there's always good interviews.
20, 30 years he's been doing this.
Yeah, long time.
I mean, he's been doing it for long. And I'm falling in love with Maggie and Perloff. In love with those two.
I think their show is very similar to our show.
And maybe that's why I love them, because I love me.
Yeah, that's true. You do love
I love you too, Kate.
You do love you. Yeah, you know what? It is one of those shows where they're very just real. You know, they don't try to put on a show of, hey, look how much I know about stuff, and here's, they give their takes on things.
Yeah.
But there's people who give a genuine take on something. There's the banter about it all, and then there's the people who are like the know-it-alls of this person is the worst quarterback ever, and it's like, dude, it's Patrick Mahomes. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
They get on their high horse sometimes.
Oh yeah,
and they're just not those kind of people. They're not those kind of people. And each show has their own place,
and they know who they are. Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, this weekend, I know you were having kind of a chill weekend. Did it end up being chill for you?
Geez, what did I end up doing this weekend?
Well, that sounds like a pretty chill weekend.
Oh, I know what I did. I remember what I did. Saturday. So for those who don't know, I do another show on one of our sister stations, and part of doing shows on other stations means that, when a business does a grand opening or something, and you see the radio stations out there, I was doing that. So I was at the new Beans and Brews location in Santa Clara next to Harmon's. They had a grand opening, so I was out there broadcasting for our sister
Oh, that'd
station.
be a fun one to go do.
Yeah, it was fun. They were giving away some drinks and stuff like that. So I went over there. The weather was warm, but I had the canopy, so it actually was really nice. I was just out there listening to my tunes, hanging out for a couple hours in the sun. And then I went home, and then I started my relaxing weekend. My parents were camping in Pine Valley, so that night, me and my family, the siblings and stuff, we went out to my parents' campsite where I told you about their brand new trailer.
Yes.
So we went out and we had dinner with them on Saturday night, and that was fun.
Very
it was
cool.
a good time.
Very cool.
That was my weekend.
Well, Macy and I, we went out to Moab and Arches National Park, and I got to say, Arches might be my favorite.
It's beautiful.
National park now. Sorry, Zion. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Zion.
Sorry, Zion. Sorry, Bryce. Wherever, Grand Canyon even. I mean, Arches was off the charts awesome. We started off Saturday morning. We went up into the park. We went there Friday late afternoon. And let me tell you, there's no good way to get to Moab. Okay.
No.
That's the only downfall to it is that
it's a long
drive. Is a nice long little drive. I mean, it's out there.
You're driving I-70 for a long time.
You do more than I thought.
And there's nothing on I-70. It's not like I-15 where you have kind of like checkpoints.
Well, the very first part of it,
you get to Richfield, and then from kind of Richfield on, it's like
maybe just a little bit farther, but not much. Yeah. I mean, once you get to Green River, obviously it's you're done there. But we get to Moab Friday evening. Saturday morning, we get up and we go up to the top of Arches National Park. And the hike that we did was called Devil's Garden. Macy and I have done a lot of hikes this year. This is probably our favorite that we've done this year.
Was it tough, or was it just because of how beautiful it was?
It wasn't. Now, it was 8 miles.
It's a good size hike.
So, it is a good size hike. Coming out, I would do it a little bit different now. It's a loop, okay? But you could actually go up to it and then come back the same way. That's probably how I would do it next time, because coming out, the last quarter of the hike was not the funnest. I mean, you're walking in sand. I hate walking in sand.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And it was warmer. It was close to noon at this point. So yes, the temperatures had risen a little bit, but it was walking out in sand. If I had to do it all over again, I would go up the way we went up. We went counterclockwise on this loop. And the great thing about it is it has these little offshoot trails. And it's very well marked, by the way. But they have these little offshoot trails. And the reward at the end of these little offshoots was so awesome. I mean, there'd be arches. There'd be an arch, that kind of stuff. So
that is the name of the national park.
That is the name of the national park. But yeah, I would do it just a little bit differently next time. I would go up the same way we went up and hit all those little arches on the way, and then I would come down the exact same way. That's how I would do it now. But it was 8-mile loop, and it was awesome. Lots of people up there. There wasn't a ton, but there were people up there. I'm not going to say that. There was times that we were actually hiking with other people. But the nice thing about that is when you're at those arches, you take pictures for people, they'll take pictures for you, that kind of stuff too. So it works out really well.
Nice then, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But Arches might be our new favorite national park.
I love it.
It was awesome. I've lived here all my life, okay?
Mm-hmm.
With a slight timeout when we moved to Northern California for about 4 years. But other than that, the other 49 years have been right here in Southern Utah. And I have never been to Moab, but this might be an annual trip now that we do. That's how much we loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So if you've never been out there, get out there. It is awesome.
Yeah.
The restaurants were great. It's kind of, we were sitting in a restaurant Friday night when we got there, and we're looking out the window. And Macy said, you know what? It feels like we're sitting in Ancestor Square we could see the trees and stuff like that, and then you could see the red rock behind it. You know, we're looking for the Dixie Rock. It had that feel to it.
Yeah.
And it was just tremendous. So the restaurants were great. The stay that we had was great. We stayed at the Archway Inn right there, right when you come into town. It was a great place to stay. And like I said, highly recommend this to anybody. Go to Arches National Park, Moab, do the whole thing.
I love it. That's awesome.
It was a ton of fun.
Yeah. Sounds like a good weekend.
It was.
Nice.
Other than the drive, it was great.
Yeah.
Just a long ways there.
Yeah. Hey, so speaking of this weekend, one thing going on this weekend, NBA Summer League has kicked off. And now there's some interesting, it's drama. We'll call it drama that has happened with Summer League, and not necessarily with Summer League, but it's being more vocalized around Victor Wembanyama. We were talking about this before the show started, and he said, "Did you hear about this?" Mark, just tell everyone what's going on with Victor Wembanyama.
So apparently, Wembanyama, his security guard, Britney Spears, yes, that Britney Spears, she was trying to get the attention of Victor Wembanyama. Well, maybe she was, I haven't seen the video, but apparently she was getting pretty overzealous about getting his attention. Well, the security guard kind of pushed her back and pushed her hand into her face. So she kind of hit herself. Okay.
Now, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah. Remember your older brothers used to do that, right?
They sit there and they grab your hand and try to like smack you with your own hand.
Yeah. Oh my God. My sister used to do that to me all the time.
Yep.
Until I got a little stronger than her. But yeah, all the time, man.
She'd stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
But anyways, the security guy pushed Britney's hand away and, like I said, into her own face. But the Las Vegas PD, they said that, I'll just say the quote here, did not willfully or unlawfully use force or violence against Britney. So anyways, no charges are going to be brought up or anything like that against either person. Here's a funny continuation of that story, though. So after that happened, Britney went to a restaurant. Okay, she went to go out to eat. And after she accidentally hit herself, she accidentally kicked Pauly Shore out of his booth at the restaurant.
He's still around?
He's still around in Las Vegas, just wandering around.
He's just there.
But it was actually accidental. He went to the restroom, and the rest of his party hadn't gotten there yet.
Oh.
So they sat Britney Spears and
They're
her
like,
party.
Oh, yeah, here's an open table.
Yes, exactly. He comes out. They had a good laugh. He found a new booth. Obviously, I mean, I don't know who has a higher celebrity status right now, Pauly Shore or Britney Spears. I would have to lean Britney Spears. Yes.
Yeah, it's Britney.
So, anyways, yeah, kind of funny there.
Yeah, and what's funny is people are now going after Victor Wembanyama, being like, you hate Britney, all the Britney lovers, and it's like, no, he really has nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
actually.
he had nothing to do with it.
It's kind of stupid, but yeah, you know what? Point is, Summer League is going on in Las Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, got Summer League. It's crazy. Yeah, it's always fun times. By the way, speaking of Summer League, Keontae George, man, 33 points, 10 assists in the first game against the Clippers. We haven't seen an outing like that at Summer League since Donovan Mitchell, and he had, I want to say it was 37 and 7.
Yeah,
was his. Keontae George, man, he could be the real deal. And remember, the Jazz are looking for that number one option point guard now.
Yes,
Keontae George might be that guy, actually, which is really exciting because everyone's worried about, man, where are we going to find the starting point guard? Who's it going to be? Who's going to be that person? I think we might have already found him.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
We wondered the same thing about how are you going to replace Rudy Gobert? We don't have a solid center. Okay, they bring in Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's not the same player as Gobert. He could actually play a 4 probably better than he can play a 5. Right. You start to look at those things, and then all of a sudden Walker Kessler comes out of nowhere and just blooms, right? Right before our eyes, he becomes the center that the Jazz are looking for. And it's like, oh, we had him all along. We got him in the draft. I should say Minnesota got him in the draft, and we got him in a trade. But you know what I mean? And funny enough, this Keontae George pick also comes from the Rudy Gobert trade.
I'm telling you what, that Rudy Gobert trade is going to set the Jazz up in a really good position for years to come.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you, Rudy.
I know. When you look at it, and if Kessler continues to grow and get better, and you get Keontae George, who could be your number one go-to point guard, I'm like, man, this is awesome.
And I know Rudy was a beloved player. He was a fan favorite.
I still love Rudy.
He was a fan favorite, but he should be even more a fan favorite now because, again, he has set this franchise up for success for the next quite a few years.
Listen, I'm the kind of guy where when, once a Jazz man, always a Jazz man. I like to try to have that mentality. Sometimes if they burn you, you're like, just goodbye, good riddance. Rudy is one of those for me that I'm like, hey, you know what? When he comes into town, he's the kind of guy that's getting the standing ovation.
Right.
And I understand that he's going to get a lot of cheers anytime he comes to play in Utah.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I'm on board because I love Rudy. But like what you said, you can't. Your team comes before the player. I'm a Jazz fan more than I am a Rudy fan.
Sure.
Okay. As much as I love Rudy, I am a Jazz fan. He's gone. We got a lot back from it. It's starting to pan out already, and I'm like, hey, you know what? See you, Rudy.
Yeah.
Thanks for what we're getting in return.
Yeah, no question about it. And it's one of those things. I'm the same way. I'm a team fan first, and then I'm an athlete fan second. It blows my mind when people are like, and I'm just going to use his name because he has a big following, LeBron James, okay?
Yeah.
People are LeBron James fans. They're not Cleveland Cavalier fans or Miami Heat fan or Los Angeles Lakers fans. Like, they follow him. That is so weird to me. I'm a team first guy, and then I like the players on that team. And hey, once you start putting on a different jersey or a different uni, you're dead to me. Well, maybe not dead to me, but I've moved on. I don't really root for you anymore.
Yeah, I get that.
That's how I am.
See, and I'm that way with a lot of players. And I will say, it's the ones with the big names that are the ones that I'm like, okay, thank you for what you've done. Someone who comes and they play a year or two, like, for example, let's just go with George Hill. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
I loved George Hill when he was with the Jazz.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was a great point guard. Loved having him. He moved on. I moved on.
Yes.
It was fun. Ricky Rubio. I love Ricky Rubio. He's a huge fan favorite. When he moved on, I moved on.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you look at guys like Gordon Hayward, where he ruined the 4th of July for so many people. And for him, it was like, all right, just leave.
Yeah.
It's like,
well,
like you're gone, and now when you come back, I might not be too happy about you coming back.
But it works the other way, too. Like, when people come to your team, I never thought as a Laker fan that I would be rooting for Dennis Rodman.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
But once he put on that Laker uni, I was rooting for him. Same thing with football. I hated Bill Romanowski. Hated that dude.
Mm-hmm.
But when he put on silver and black, I rooted him on.
Yep.
I mean, it's so funny. So even the hated players that you may detest when they put your team's jersey on, all of a sudden you're just welcoming them with open arms. We almost had that with the Jazz this year with Russell Westbrook.
I mean,
you guys
it was
would
one
have
of
had
those where it was like,
we have a coworker here, and his least favorite player, he's a huge Jazz guy. His least favorite player in the world is Russell Westbrook, and he could not stand the thought of Westbrook putting on a Jazz uniform. Now, it didn't come to fruition, but it was close. It was really close.
It was really close. And I will say, there was a point where I was like, man, it's going to be really, really difficult. I'll do it, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Yep. And hey, speaking of Utah and coming to Utah and play, we've got to mention this. Over the weekend, the women's U.S. Open, the ladies playing at Pebble Beach. Bailey Tardy, who is the inaugural winner of the Copper Rock Championship.
Yep.
She was leading after day 2.
Yeah, she was. She was in first
place.
Yep.
She ended up being tied for 4th. She just made about $482,000. Her previous biggest paycheck was winning the Copper Rock Championship, $35,000 that week, as well. But She won $482,000. Congratulations to Bailey Tardy. We have had her on the show before.
Yes, we have.
I have reached out to her. Hopefully sometime this week we can get her on the show.
I'm sure she's going through a lot of messages right now from every single person in her life, from her third grade teachers to her. Everyone's probably just like, hey, I saw what happened. Yeah. Congratulations. I'm sure she's got a lot that she's trying to buffer through right now.
It was the par 5, number 6 at Pebble. She had eagled both Thursday and Friday. I'm watching the tournament on Saturday. We just happened to get done with our morning hike. We were back at the hotel. I had the U.S. Open on, watching Bailey Tardy play, and she's on number 6. And they had just mentioned how she had eagled it both Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
She hits it into the water off the tee.
Yeah.
So she has to go.
Take the drop.
They did look for it, couldn't find it. So at the point of entry, she did her drop. And I think they did the right thing, dropping 2 and then hitting 3. And they were talking about her and her caddy. They were talking about how they should go with this. Should they lay up or should they be aggressive? But then you have that chance of it going in the water again because it's an elevated fairway up to the green on number 6 at Pebble. So, and I think they did the smart thing. They ended up laying up. She got on in 4, and then she 2-putted for bogey. But that was kind of the turning point right there where she kind of started to kind of drop a little bit. It'd be interesting to ask her when she thought that too. If that's the hole that she would say the same thing happened.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Anyway, she had a fantastic weekend. And I'll bet here's the thing too. As athletes, especially golfers, you get greedy. I'll bet on last Wednesday, if you'd have went to Bailey Tardy and said, hey, right now, you don't have to play the tournament. We'll give you a tied for 4th place. You want to take it? She'd be like, hell yes.
Yeah. Well, she'd be like, I want to play, but I'll take the 4th. Yeah.
But after Friday night, you get greedy as a player. And that's how they should be. They need to be wired that way.
She had a chance for first.
She had a chance for first. My goodness.
So
first place, Allison Corpus ended up with a $2 million purse.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's pretty awesome.
That is so awesome. Anyways, congratulations to Bailey Tardy. I know she has a pretty big following here in Southern Utah because she was the inaugural winner over there at Copper Rock Championship the very first year. Dottie Ardina, she was on the first and second page of the leaderboard for most of the tournament as well. I'm just kind of looking to see where she ended up at.
And she is still a part of the Epson Tour, but did get the invite for the Open. So, so hats off to her for being a part of that and playing really quite well.
Yeah. Oh, she finished tied for 53rd.
Okay.
So totally respectable.
That's very respectable.
Totally respectable. There were actually several Epson Tour players names that I recognized from the very first year to even last year were in this tournament.
What's her name? Jenny Coleman, I want to say, is that her name? That was in the playoff this last Copper Rock Championship. She was a part of this.
Yeah.
There's definitely some familiar names if you've been out there. So,
yeah. Anyway, a lot of fun. And again, just kind of leading into the LPGA that's coming up here at Black Desert Resort, the PGA. It's so much fun to, pay more attention to the women's U.S. Open and the majors and the tournaments because they're going to be here in our little Washington County, Ivans, playing in the Black Desert Championship.
Yep.
Oh my God. Be awesome. So awesome.
We got to get to a break. When we come back, it's time for our all-time All-Star list. Stick around with us here on From the Bleachers. Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Mark, you know how we've been talking about the last couple of days, which by that I mean heading back to Thursday, Friday, about this new app, Threads.
Yes, Threads.
Right? Which is basically, it's just taken over Twitter.
And the Fan Sports Network is on Threads.
We are on Threads. You can find us at the Fan Sports Network on Threads. Anyways, the app Threads has now surpassed 100 million users.
Really?
To put that into perspective, Twitter currently, now remember how many bots are on Twitter as well. So this counts every account on Twitter.
Okay.
367 million was the last that.
So they're a third of the way there.
They're a third of the way there in less than a week.
Yeah.
In less than a week, they are a third of the way there.
We have our resident Giant fan.
I think I should take this third camera and just point it at the window.
I think I should take one of my outfielders off the list just because of this.
I think you should. I know exactly who you're talking about,
too.
I
know. But I can't. I can't penalize.
Double B's.
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, not that one?
No.
Ooh.
No.
Right.
I didn't even consider him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about him either way.
Okay.
Let's get to it, though, because we're already a little behind schedule. So let's get into our all-time All-Star list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mark, this is where we're at right now. We have outfielders to get to. We've done everything leading up to outfielders. I want to talk about who your starters are. Give me your starters, and they don't have to be, for the listeners.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have 2 left fielders and a
Correct,
center fielder.
correct.
I don't care. Just an outfielder, you can put them anywhere.
Now, just to preface my starters are actually left field, center field, right field.
Hey, there you go.
Kind of by accident, maybe a little on, maybe not completely on accident, but then my backups are just outfielders. So just to kind of, in fact, they're all 3 center fielders to give you an idea. But left field, I went with Ted Williams. Okay. And let's see here. I have that. Where did he go? Oh, right there. Ted Williams, certainly one of the best hitters ever, 2-time Triple Crown winner, 6-time batting title, 19-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, one of the best left fielders to ever play. Obviously known for Boston, being a Red Sox. And here's the thing, man. He batted. This is his career, okay? His career batting average is .344.
That's awesome.
.344. Certainly, if not the best hitter of all time, one of 2 or 3 of the best hitters of all time for sure. So that's who I have in left field. Center field, I have. It pained me a little bit because it is a San Francisco. Well, it's a Giant, and I went with Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Willie Mays, center field, 12-time Gold Glove winner, 24-time All-Star, 24. Caden, unbelievable, 2-time MVP. He was Rookie of the Year. He has a batting title underneath his resume as well, and he was a 2-time All-Star MVP. And again, not much more you can say about Willie Mays. Certainly one of the best hitters as well. Over 24 years, he batted .301.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of attempts.
It is.
So I went with Willie Mays. And then in right field, I went Roberto Clemente.
Ooh.
Yeah, went
Okay,
Roberto
that's a good
Clemente.
one.
Yeah. 15-time All-Star, 12-time Gold Glover. He was an MVP, 2-time World Series as well, World Series MVP, 4 batting titles. So not only was he a Gold Glove winner, he had 4 batting titles under his name as well. Also known for having a great arm out there in right field. And that's where you want to have one of your best arms, is out there in right field. So he did it all for Pittsburgh for sure. His lifetime batting average, again, well over 300. 317 is what he averaged over a lifetime.
I like that.
Incredible. I went with
awesome.
Roberto Clemente.
That's awesome. That's a good list. We only have one that is the same
Okay.
in our starters.
Okay.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's it. That is good.
The one that is the same, we'll just get that one out of the way really quick, is Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
I have
Okay.
Willie as well.
Okay.
I had him as my center fielder,
Mm-hmm.
so that made it easy for me. Out in left field, I have Ken Griffey Jr.
And I will say, well, I'll talk about
You
him in a minute.
considered it. I'm sure you considered it.
No question. Junior is one of my favorite players of all
The
time.
Golden Gloves and the Silver Sluggers. He's got a bunch of all of them. He was MVP as well. So, I mean, he's more recent enough. We all know Ken Griffey Jr. One of the truest hitters, especially, here's the thing. Remember, he played through the steroid era, and a lot of guys were always just like, look, the one guy that's not doing it is Ken Griffey.
He was never linked to it at all.
And when you look at his numbers and you know, he had a 284 batting average. It's decent. You know, it's not these guys that have a career batting average in the 300s. I get that. But when you look at the era that he's playing in with these guys that are just hammering it, he kept up with them. He kept up with these guys.
Yeah, no, he ended up hitting 630 career home runs. So absolutely he did. And I will say, I know you haven't done your last starter yet, but he was my number one reserve was Ken Griffey Jr. So,
and that's great. That's awesome. My right fielder. This one goes back a little bit. It's a name that a lot of people know. I went with Hank Aaron.
Yeah, I did look at Hank.
Hank Aaron was MVP back in 1957. He played from the year 1954 to 1976. He played from 20 to 42. So a really long career. Through that career, the only years he was not an All-Star was his first year and his last year.
Yeah.
But outside of that, he did have 3 Golden Gloves, and just a phenomenal baseball player. We're not even talking hits, by the way. 2,297 RBIs.
Yeah.
That's not hits. We're talking RBIs.
Yeah.
305 batting average. He was just one of these that just the longevity and reliability. He just was always there, always available.
Yeah, and I certainly considered Hank Aaron, but there was the other two. Now I already mentioned my other reserve is Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah,
but I just couldn't take off and feel good about it. Joe DiMaggio, center fielder for the Yankees for many, many years. He was a 3-time MVP, 13-time All-Star, 2-time batting title. He's in the World Series 9 times. And I just couldn't take him off, nor could I take off my last reserve, and I can't believe he's a reserve, but there's only 3 positions. Stan Musial. He played most of his career as an outfielder. He did play some first base, but known as an outfielder. 3-time MVP, 24-time All-Star, 3 World Series, 7-time batting title champion, 2-time Major League Player of the Year, Stan Musial. And I just couldn't knock any of those players off for Hank Aaron. I love Hank Aaron. Again, outfield is such a stacked and loaded position.
It was so tough.
We could go on and on. Even some of the 70s great outfielders. You had Willie Stargell, Dave Parker, both played for the Pirates. You had, oh my gosh, he just left my mind. Anyways, just a ton of some of those great 70s outfielders that I couldn't add to the list because, again, it's just stacked.
Yeah.
Now, I will say some potentials to get on this list maybe in another 8 to 10 years. I did write down some potentials.
Okay. Well, let me give my reserves
that's right.
first.
Sorry, I'm jumping
ahead. And then we'll get to your potentials.
Let's get to your reserve. And maybe your reserves are some of my potentials. I don't know.
Well, I have 3, and one of them was Ted Williams, who you had already mentioned.
Yes.
So I won't go there. Mickey Mantle, I put on mine as well as my bench, and I did put a current player.
You did.
We talked about him.
Really?
This has more to do just with he's my favorite player currently, Mike Trout. I did put him on there. And we talked about this because he does not have gold gloves. He's got a great bat.
Now, I know some of our listeners are like, wait a minute, he has a gold glove.
No,
he
does not have a gold glove.
I told you during our break, I would have lost money on this. If you'd have said, hey, Mark, I'll bet you $100 that Mike Trout does not have a gold glove, I would have slapped a C note down here and I would have said, let's look it up.
Yeah.
I would have lost.
Yeah. And honestly, the reason I have him on there was when I was filling out this list, I was like, there's got to be a player who's currently in the league right now that deserves to be on this list. And of the current players, I'm like, man, there's 2 that I feel like really could be. And I will say I left some good ones off because I just wanted to put him in. I know there's better players throughout history than Mike Trout. So I don't want people to think like, why don't you have this guy? Like, why don't you throw in Joe DiMaggio? Why don't you because I just wanted him. Okay. That's really what it comes down to. I just wanted him. He's in the bench. How much is he going to play? Probably not much. So I put him in there.
Well, my potentials, Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, I had written down as well. Yeah. Ronald Acuna Jr. as well. So many great outfielders currently now in the outfield.
Bryce Harper, he's kind of more DH now than he is outfield.
Yeah.
But he's kind
of. He doesn't
in that.
Make my list.
Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
Could be. I'm trying to think who else is just kind of like decent players that could be. But for sure, Aaron Judge. For sure, Mookie Betts. Mookie just because of the gold gloves. he's insane with that.
And he's a great hitter as well. He's one of the best defenders and certainly one of the best hitters too. I mean, and again, that's kind of how I revolve around. I want to see Gold Gloves, and that would be definitely a red flag to me with Mike Trout when I'm coming up with these all-time greatest fielders and positions. Is that?
Yeah, one that's way too young, but we'll see. Julio Rodriguez.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Rookie of the year last year.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's one that is on the track to be in a conversation, but he's only on year 2. He's so young.
Yeah.
Let's go to the last category of all, designated hitter.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start this one off because my designated hitter is in the league.
My reserve is in the league.
Well, that might be the same guy.
I'm sure it is.
And this is one of those guys that I considered putting in at pitcher as well. It's giving it away. Shohei Ohtani.
I have him as my reserve DH because who do they compare him to? My number 1, Babe Ruth.
Wow, that's very ironic because guess who's on my bench? Babe Ruth.
How do you put Babe Ruth on the bench?
Here's the thing.
Babe freaking Ruth, man.
Shohei Ohtani is doing things that Babe Ruth never did. That's why.
Oh, man.
Honestly, if you'll look at those two careers, what Shohei Ohtani is doing right now is just literally something we have never seen in the history of baseball. You can't have him not as a starter, in my opinion. You just can't. He is breaking every record known to man right now.
No question.
And he is on track to break Aaron Judge's record that he won last year, that he got last year.
Right.
For home runs in American League. So I'm just saying, Shohei is a beast. He has to be on this list somewhere. Of course, I have him as my starter, but I can't leave off Babe Ruth from this list because it's Babe Ruth. When you think of baseball, you think of Babe Ruth.
Yes, you do.
Right? You just
no
do.
question about it.
So you have to have Babe Ruth somewhere in this roster, at least. If it's on the bench, okay. But you know what? He's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but you look at, let's look at pitchers. Is he going to overtake any of those pitchers? Maybe not. He did play a little bit of first base for a second. Is he going to take over any of those guys? No.
Right.
You know what? Just throw him in at DH. I love it.
So here's the starters for the American League tonight in the outfield, okay?
Tomorrow.
And then we'll get to the DH. Yeah, tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we already did I did my DH as well, right?
Yeah, you
Babe
did.
Ruth. Okay.
Yeah.
So right now you have Mike Trout, who's injured, but then you have Randy Arozarena and Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Okay. The reserves for the American League, you have Lewis Robert Jr. for the White Sox, Austin Hayes for Baltimore, Yordan Alvarez, Adolis Garcia, Kyle Tucker, and Julio Rodriguez, for the American League. National League outfielders, Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, Corbin Carroll. Reserves, you have Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Nick Castellanos, and Juan Soto for the National League. I think there's a few Hall of Famers here. I think is Juan Soto. I don't know if Juan Soto, probably a Hall of Famer. Mookie Betts, Hall of Famer. Ronald Acuna Jr. will be a Hall of Famer. Up to the American League, Julio Rodriguez. I'm going to go out on a limb, even though this is his second year. I'll bet he's a Hall of Famer.
All right.
And then Aaron Judge, Hall of Famer. Mike Trout, Hall of Famer.
I love it.
Those are my guesses. My educated guesses.
I'm fairly on board.
I don't know if the other one. I think the other ones are just all-stars. I don't know if they're Hall of Famers. I think they're just all-stars.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
there are a few for sures that are going to be Hall of Famers, like Aaron Judge. To me, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He is. We got to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the home run derby. We still got some baseball to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
For sure. So we'll talk about that more when we come back. Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Welcome back, everybody. It's From the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Thank you for tuning into the show today. Just as a reminder, watch us over on YouTube where you guys can catch even more of the action and not only see our reactions to stuff, which is probably more fun than you might realize, because there's a lot of stuff that goes unsaid into the microphone.
Yes.
But it does not go unsaid with our facial expressions.
Right.
So that's always fun. That's always fun.
And before we get to the big dingers, we'll talk about the home run derby tonight.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about speed, because there's a couple of things you can't coach. One of them is height.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one is speed. And Ellie De La Cruz of the Reds has the speed. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see what's going to happen here. But Ellie De La Cruz steals second. He steals third, and he steals home. Caden, you got that clip?
I got that clip. Let's.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
Let's take a look and take a listen.
De La Cruz goes. Pitch called a strike. Throw down on a skip late. Another steal for Ellie De La Cruz.
Wasn't even close.
That was still in second.
Yep.
That's his 14th swipe, caught just twice in the show.
Well, Contreras
I'm gonna skip forward just a little bit here. There's one pitch in between.
Yeah.
Now, Ellie De La Cruz standing on second. If you haven't seen this, it's gold.
He takes off again. Pitch down and in. Fade throw. There's no chance.
Now, the shift was kind of on. Not that they can do the shift anymore, but as much as they could.
Anderson, knowing that if he got a jump,
he's going home. The throw. He stole home.
And
I love the call.
He stole home in baseball. Stole second, third,
That is
I
just
love it.
tremendous baseball. I love small ball. I do. In fact, I know Landon gets tired of me reminding him all of the time to use all of the weapons that he has. And one of those is doing drag bunts, just getting on base and doing that. And I know he gets tired of me saying it, but I just love small ball. He just turned it. Now, I don't know how Ellie De La Cruz got on base there. I don't know if it was a hit. I don't know if it was a walk. I don't know how he got on first, but he got on first. And he turned it into a home run. I mean, not a home run per se, but he stole second, stole third, stole home before the next batter even got out of the batter's box.
And that's it. That's exactly it, right? He gets to base. The next guy comes up to bat. And from being on first, whether it was a single or walk, it doesn't really matter. He's at home before the next guy even has a chance to finish his at-bat. It's awesome.
It is awesome. And I just love that kind of baseball. Watching the great Ricky Henderson when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. Ricky
steal bases. So and I just love small ball. I love stolen bases. I love how MLB has, made the bases a little tiny bit bigger. And with these new rules where they're trying to get more stolen bases in the league. And I love that because I love stolen bases.
Me too. I think it's fantastic. I think it's awesome.
So,
well, coming up tonight here at 6:00 is the Home Run Derby. Tonight's Home Run Derby, of course, taking place in Seattle for All-Star. I would say All-Star Weekend. That's more of an NBA thing. And All-Star Week here for the MLB.
And let's go through the bracket here.
Let's do it.
And I want your take on who you think is going to win.
I'll tell you who I'm rooting for at least.
Who's that?
Well, I'm saying each pairing.
Okay.
But yeah. Well, the first pairing is Luis Robert Jr. against Adley Rutschman.
Mm-hmm. Now, Luis Robert Jr. has 26 home runs.
He's killing it
right now.
He's killing it.
And the 8th seed Adley Rutschman has 12.
Yeah, he hit a bomb though earlier this week, like 460 something feet.
His longest home run of 2023 so far is 461 feet. And that was July 9th versus the Twins.
Man, it's like I pay attention to sports or something. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
So I will say it would make more sense to go with Luis in this one. I'll be cheering for Adley, but Luis makes more sense.
Okay.
Pete Alonso, Julio Rodriguez. I'm kind of tired of watching Pete Alonso win.
But he is so good at this competition.
He's so good. But Julio Rodriguez last year was really fun to watch as well.
He was.
He was awesome. I'm actually going to say it's Julio.
Pete Alonso right now has 26 home runs, and Julio is only at 13 right now.
But he's good at the home run derby.
I will be rooting for Julio though.
And I love Pete Alonso. Did you know that he played for the Area 51s back in the Las Vegas?
I didn't know that.
The Las Vegas 51s.
If I did know it, I forgot about it.
Yeah, because the 51s used to be the affiliate of the Mets before they were the affiliate of the A's, and Pete Alonso was there.
Okay.
Mookie Betts and Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Boy, this is an all-star matchup.
That's
right
a good
here.
One.
As far as names are concerned.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll be rooting on for Mookie Betts. That's who I'm rooting for to win it all. Right now, Mookie has 26 home runs, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. has 13.
Since you're taking Mookie, I'll go with Vlad in this one. Because why not?
Why not?
Just make it a little bit of difference there. Here's the 4-5 matchup. Is Adolis Garcia and Randy Arozarena.
Yeah, Adolis Garcia with the Rangers has 23 home runs currently.
Yeah.
And Randy Arozarena with the Rays has 16. So this is really a close matchup, which is what the 4-5 matchup should have. It should be close.
I'll go with Garcia in this one.
Let's see. I'm going to go Arozarena.
All right. And you saying Mookie's winning it all?
That's who I'm rooting for.
That's who you're rooting for?
I don't know if he's ever been in a home run derby before.
I don't know either.
I can't remember.
I'm going to say Julio's going to win it this year.
It is in his home
the guy
city.
in the home stadium. I want him to win in his home stadium.
That would be pretty cool. I like Julio a lot.
I like him a lot, too.
But I got to be rooting for my boy Mookie. fact, I might even go home and put on my Mookie jersey.
Nice.
So
I
as long
love
as I can watch it. Now, here's the thing. I might have to go home and subscribe to YouTube TV like right when I get home
just to get
so
it.
I can watch it, because right now I'm like TV platform-ish. We've just been streaming stuff like ESPN Plus, and then
Right.
Netflix and Max and stuff like that. I haven't had like a TV provider since I dumped DirecTV a couple of months ago, and I haven't missed it until right now, knowing the fact that I might not be able to watch the Home Run Derby. I might have to buzz home and just subscribe to YouTube TV real quick.
There you go. That's a smart idea. Smart idea. I'm excited for it. Again, that's coming up in about an hour from now. We're actually going to end things a little soon today, mostly because I want to get back and I want to watch it tonight.
Yes.
So I kind of want to get home, and for me, it's a long drive.
Yep.
So we're going to pack it up right here. Everybody have a good one. We'll be with you again tomorrow, 4 o'clock here on the Fan Sports Network. Thanks for joining us here on From the Bleachers.